Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. We are convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. Today's category is real estate. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the executive director, and I am responsible for letting everyone know to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public and participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted on the Tax Review Board's website. At this time, I'm going to hand over control of the board to our chair, Paula Weiss. And Paula, take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's warm enough today. Tax Review Board hearings for January 21st, 2025 are now in session. Before we move into the actual hearing process that we'll go through today, we have a couple of administrative announcements based on our docket, starting with case number 2 for 4239 Haverford Avenue. Last 4 digits of the docket are KA8CI. That matter has been continued. And case number 414 East Penn Street. Last 4 digits of the docket 4703. That matter has also been continued, but we will note for the record that there will be no further continuances in this matter. It will be heard at the next listing. We're going to jump down to case number 7, which is, let me see. Case number 7, 116-22 South 17th Street, last 4 digits of the docket 9L29. I believe the attorney for this petitioner is with us today. Mr. Schneider, is that you?
Yep, David Schneider on behalf of the petitioner.
Thank you. And who has this matter for the city?
Stephen Wakefield for the city of Philadelphia.
Hello, Mr.
Hello. So we are in agreement that a refund should be issued in the amount of $222,038.74. So 222,038.74.
Okay, so this matter has been settled?
Yes, but we would ask that the tax review board issue an order because that will get it through revenue now and they will get their money instead of convincing them over the course of 6 months that they should write a check because we agreed to it.
Yes. Okay. So,
so we're in agreement that the tax review board should issue an order.
As per agreement, so the decision should read, as per agreement of the city, a refund will be issued to petitioner for $222,038.74.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get concurrence from board members?
Yes,
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Mr. Schneider, you'll get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with that decision. Mr. Wakefield, does he then need to go through any other refund process?
No, if you guys order us to issue the refund, we'll issue the refund. So if he just reaches out to me and says he got the letter, I can poke refund and he can get his check.
Excellent. Then that will conclude this matter on our behalf. Thank you both for working this out. And Mr. Schneider, you can depart if you so desire at this point.
So this was no action needed, or was it the board ordering
The board is ordering a refund as per agreement by the city, 200 and the taxpayer, $222,038.74. $222,038.74.
Thank you.
Okay. And as I said, Mr. Schneider, you'll get a letter to that effect within about 2 weeks from the board.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna go put in pool.
We're moving on to what is listed as case number 5 on our docket for 433 East Penn Street, last 4 digits of the docket 4675. And it is Linda Poole. Petitioner needs to, we need the camera and the microphone.
Yes, Chris is putting them in the room.
Okay,
There they are.
okay, thank you.
Oh, just you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's just-
All right,
I thought somebody else.
perfect. Good afternoon.
No,
My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Sean Poole.
Mr. Poole, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes,
Thank you. This case was continued previously because there was a need for a power of attorney. I believe you've supplied that, Ms. Andre, is that correct?
That is correct. And I
Okay, so-
emailed it to Mr. Wakefield as well as to the board just now.
all right, Mr. Wakefield, you should have or be getting a copy of the power of attorney that had been requested in order to proceed.
Oh, these are letters testamentary. Okay, so he's the executor of the estate. Just
Oh,
for the
okay.
record.
Thank you.
right.
All right,
So
that's-
obviously no objection.
Okay, very good. We can move forward. So, all right, Mr. Poole, I'm going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can put on the record the dollar amounts and dates and controversy, and then we're going to come back to you and give you an opportunity to explain to us why you are here today, what you're looking for from the board.
okay.
Mr. Wakefield, do we need to swear in Ms. Dillon?
I think you guys swear in, Ms. Dillon.
Right, that's what, right. I assume that she's your witness. That's what I was.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, Marge. Can you state your full name and position with the city?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Marge Dillon with the City Tax Audit Unit.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Could you provide us with the amounts and dates and controversy, please, for this?
Okay, what I have here is 1989 through 2024. Principal, $29,893.75. Penalty, $1,783.89. Interest, $26,147.55. Liens and legal fees, $5,863.89. Totaling $63,689.08. And that is all.
Okay. Have there been any payments on this account through these years that you can see?
There has been some sporadic.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah,
Wakefield,
there,
go ahead. All right, we'll wait on that. Mr. Wakefield, any opening comments?
Yeah, so we have not had a payment since we switched over to our new Prism system in
Right.
2022. So the payments that are on there are all old. Basically, they go back to our tip system. And so when we go into the tip system to look at those payments, what we see is that there was one payment of $500 in August of 2022. And then the payment before that was 14 years earlier in August of 2008. It looks like there were a couple payments in 2008 and 2007. And for the 20 years prior to 2007, going back to 1987, there were no payments. So that interest and penalty waiver is for people who like really have made a good faith effort to pay. This is 37 years. I would say that the good faith requirement is not met. You don't accidentally not pay your taxes for 37.
Okay, we're going to turn to Mr. Poole. What would you like to tell us about how this came about?
All right. Well, first of all, Arturo and Linda Poole is now deceased. And then there was a custody property battle in their divorce, in which my mother received the properties and along with the taxes that my father didn't pay. I'm currently here today because my older brother was handling, but now he's handicapped, and now I have to transition and move back to Philadelphia to handle all the family affairs. So that's why I'm here now today requesting the reduction of the penalties so I can get them paid, and I'll be moving back into the property as I'm getting the transfer, working on a transfer from my job in Maryland and the sale of my house so I can move back here to take care of my 91-year-old grandmother and the rest of the family.
Okay. Does anybody live in this property now?
No, I'll be moving back to the property.
And how long has it been vacant?
My mother's been gone for roughly a year and a half. My older brother was in there, but now he's bound to a wheelchair. So now he's in a different property.
And can you explain to us why no one made any payments on this property in all these years?
Well, between my dad and my mom and a divorce, I cannot tell you. All right. I haven't lived in Philadelphia for almost 18 years. All right. I'm back now taking care of my family affairs. I have multiple properties of my parents that I'm the head of the state now to take care of, to get everything back in shape. So I have to relocate my family back here to get everything in order.
And are you prepared to pay the principal amount that's due?
If I have a reasonable payment plan, once I get settled and get my job to transfer me back here, I will. That's my plans on doing. I'm currently a homeowner in Maryland. All my taxes are paid for, and I'll come back here to get everything back in order.
Okay. Mr. Wakefield?
Nothing
Anything?
further from the city.
All right. Any questions from board members?
No.
I have one or two. Mr. Poole, when did your parents enter into divorce proceedings?
They've been divorced. It was a battle for almost like 5 years, going back and forth.
And do you know when that was approximately?
Not approximately. I have to get all the paperwork. I'm back in town today to go back to City Hall to get rest of the deeds and the divorce degree, everything that was included in the divorce, get all that stuff squared away while I'm in town.
And before the divorce, did they live in this property together?
Yes, at one point, they lived in another they're in another property. My family had, my dad and my mom have 3 properties.
And was this a-
4913, say again?
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't.
4913, North 18th Street, 4915, and 433.
Was this a rental property?
Probably at one point, yes. It was a rental property when I was growing up as a kid. I remember it being a rental property because they bought the property from my grandparents.
So they presumably received rent, but made no payments toward the real estate taxes.
I can tell you, I know at that time,
I
they had an accountant, Irvin Eichenbaum, who I remember going through the paperwork, was their public accountant. But I couldn't tell you prior to that. At that, I was a youth. I didn't know what was going, what was coming.
And you plan to keep this property and live in it yourself?
Yes, I do.
All right, I don't have any other questions. Do we want to step back to
Yes.
talk about? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody hold tight.
All right. Ryan, are you still on? Okay.
So unless the person's default is definitely justification. They shouldn't without the it should have to be just all a version. You know, it has to be so they're not just something
Recording in progress.
Since we have everybody, you know what, John, I think you're the one who's in twice reverberating.
Okay.
There you go. That's better. Okay, Tax Review Board is back in session. Have everybody, do I see? Okay, so having reviewed the material, the information on this property, Mr. Poole, we recognize that you have inherited this problem and we appreciate and hope that you are going to be able to step up and provide the city with the tax revenue that should have been forthcoming all these years. And in recognition of that, the decision of the Tax Review Board is that we will direct the Revenue Department to abate half of the interest and all of the penalty. However, this abatement of half the interest and all the penalty is contingent on your entering into and maintaining a payment plan. Should you fail to enter into a payment plan or having entered into one, fail to maintain the payment plan, the Revenue Department will have the authority to reinstate all of the interest and penalty being abated today. So you will get a letter and we'll give you 30 days from the date of the adjusted bill to enter into that plan. Can I get concurrence from board members?
Yes, John
Ryan-
O'Connor, I concur.
Ryan Boy, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Mr. Poole, you'll get a letter from the Tax Review Board within about 2 weeks with that decision, and an adjusted bill will follow. And as I said, you'll have 30 days from the date of the bill to enter into a payment plan. So hopefully that will provide you the opportunity to pay off the debt here on this property.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming in. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to, I believe, case number 3.
That is correct. Khalil, this is 4607 Head Street.
Right, last 4 digits of the docket are IC4. And I believe the petitioner is entering the room. Okay. Mr. Khalil? Good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
First name Raed, Raed, and last name Khalil, Khalil.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Thank you. We're going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can have them read into our record the dollar amounts and dates in controversy. Then we're going to come back to you. You'll have the opportunity to address the board and explain to us why you're here today and what you're looking for in terms of relief from the board members. So Mr. Wakefield,
City calls Marge Dillon.
Good afternoon.
Good.
Hold on, I can't find my microphone. Okay, we have years 2018 through 2024. Principal, $2,803.74. Penalty, $348.88. Interest, $721.16. Liens and legal fees, $563. Excuse me, 72 cents, totaling $4,437.50.
thank you. Mr. Wakefield, any opening comments?
No opening comments.
Okay. So Mr. Khalil, what would you like to tell us about this matter? What you're looking for from the board?
Okay, ma'am. I being gagged because when my cousins bought this house for me, it used to owe more than that, more than $7,000 in taxes. So I went to the Santa City to check the taxes, and the lady told me you have to pay $532 a month, or next week your house is gonna go to the sheriff's sale. The same day I put the house under my name, she told me I have to pay $532. I make 7 payments. Then what the lady just said is the leftover from the 7,000 something. I did pay 7 payment of 532. I told her I live on Social Security, and I gave her proof of $1,000. And she said, I don't care. If you don't pay this much, next week your house is gonna go to the sheriff's sale.
Okay.
And I came back in July. They say, don't pay nothing. We're gonna pay you back the money you paid. Then look what happened. Now this notice.
Okay, we can't see that. You have to tell us what it is that you're looking at.
It says you have to make a payment in 30 days, $532, or you have to pay the rest of the whole amount one time.
Okay, let me stop. Mr. Khalil, you live in this house?
Yes,
Is your house that you live in?
yes,
Okay, and you have Social Security income? That's your only income?
yes.
Okay. Have you gone to the city to talk to them about the various programs that might be in place to help you manage the taxes on this property?
What happened is, ma'am, when I went to do the deed under my name,
Yeah.
the lady told me, you go check the taxes and the water. It owes taxes and water. I say, not much. Then she say, yeah, too much. After I put the house under my name, I went down the real estate tax. Then the lady, she say, oh, you owe 7,000 something. You have to pay 532 every month. I told her I cannot pay 532 because it's more than half of my check. I need to live. She say, if you don't pay in 24 months, 532, next week your house go to the auction.
Okay. When did you buy this house?
In March.
Of
The same,
what year?
last year. You see what happened is the lady of the city know when I made the first payment of 532 is the same day I buy it.
Okay, okay, hang on just a
so-
second.
So
Hold
what
on.
I'm seeing,
Wakefield?
I think that I can maybe help him out. What I'm seeing is that whoever he talked to did not tell him he could have an owner occupied payment agreement.
Okay.
All right. And if he'd been given an owner occupied payment agreement when he could only has Social Security, he probably would have been put into a tier 4 or a tier 5 payment agreement. His payments would be $25 a month. So here's Mr. Clear. This is what I would like you to do.
Yes.
All right. I want you to come to our office when you're done here.
Yes.
And you're going to tell them that you want an owner occupied payment agreement, OOPA.
Where I go? Where I
So
go?
what you're
Melissa,
gonna
can you,
do-
I'm going to interrupt you, Mr. Wakefield, and ask Melissa if she can write all this down and give it to him. So
Yes.
so while she's doing that, you can continue and explain
Okay.
it.
So what you're going to do is you're going to come get to the Municipal Services Building, which is the building just north of City Hall. So if you walk past City Hall, if you leave where you are now and you walk past City Hall, Municipal Services Building is a very tall building across the street at 1401 JFK.
I know that building.
You know the building.
That's
Right.
where I pay the taxes.
That's where you pay the taxes. What you're going to do is you're going to go into the basement.
Yes.
You're going to tell them you want an UPA application, OOPA.
Okay.
They're going to give it to you. You're going to want to put together some things for us and mail it back. And what we're going to ask you for is some proof that you live in the house, right? So like a picture of your driver's license.
I have.
If you have like a bill that shows like your electric bill that shows you've been living in the house,
Okay.
we're going to want that. And then we're just going to need some kind of proof of your income. So if you're only making, say, $1,000 a month on Social Security, we're going to give you a very favorable plan where maybe you only have to pay $25 or $50 or something like that.
Can I say
And
something?
so then, you'll keep all the rest of your Social Security money, and that plan will also carry forward into the future. So any future taxes that come due on the property will get rolled into this plan. And
Can I
then
say
we'll
something?
waive the, depending on how low your income is, we may waive the interest and penalties. This is exactly what you want and exactly what you need.
Excuse me,
So
sir.
yeah,
I am complaining about the interest and the penalty and the whole taxes, not the 2,800 like the city ladies talk. I am objecting about the whole total amount of 7,000 something.
well,
She want to
you
give me.
can't,
She
you
want to.
can't object to the amount, right? They don't have any jurisdiction over the amount. They have jurisdiction over the interest and penalties.
Of all over the amount, but she.
But
wanna-
we can help you. What Mr. Wakefield is telling you is the city has a program for homeowners who can't afford to pay what the actual taxes are. And that if you go over to the Municipal Services Building, you ask them for this application for this program, then they will be able to reduce the amount that you need to pay each month to
I am-
perhaps $25 or $50 a month and remove, not wipe out, but remove the outstanding amount that you
When I apply for the help here, when I apply here, I apply for remove interest and penalty on the whole amount, not half of the amount.
Well, no,
Because
so,
I
so,
already
sir,
paid 7 payments. And
Sir?
half of that money, I owe my cousins that money, you know?
sir,
Yes,
if
sir.
if you listen,
Yes,
you might find out you're getting exactly what you want.
okay.
If your income is low enough, the special program that we put you on will automatically wipe out the interest and penalties
On the whole total.
Yes.
on what you have left. All the interest and penalties that are left would be wiped out depending on what kind of plan you have. Now, obviously, if you make $1 million a year, we're not going to do that. But if you are, as you said, just living on Social Security, chances are we're going to wipe out the interest and penalties just as part of the plan. So that's why it's important for you to get into an owner occupied plan, because that relief is already generally part of the plan.
Yes.
And as Mr. Wakefield says, it goes forward each year so that
Yeah,
it
so
will
you-
not accumulate as the taxes come due each year.
Correct. So I really think that this is going to save you the most money in the long run. I want to help you out. I want to give you the best deal that we can. And this is the way to get the best deal.
Yes,
With
Right.
the lowest monthly payment.
But I've been gagged by the lady of the city telling me I have to pay The whole total in
Right,
24.
but we're gonna move past that. We're gonna give you we're gonna give you another option other than what I don't know who she was, but what Mr. Wakefield is telling you is that
Because if
we
she
can
didn't,
we can help you find your way into a better program than that.
I
So
understand.
forget
but-
about her.
Yeah,
We're not dealing with her, whoever.
because she make me pay interest and.
We understand, and we're not gonna do that. What we're telling you is there's a program the city has that will forgive the interest and penalty, that will provide you with a monthly payment that is based because on your income low enough so that it does not take away the money you need to actually live on and stay in the house.
So
So,
there's no way you could help me on interest and penalty from the whole total? That's help.
all right, we're gonna stop.
We're
Miss Andre's gonna give you the information, and direct you where you need to go to have that relief that you're asking for. Yes, the city does have a way to do that. And so Ms. Andre has the information based on Mr. Wakefield's explanation. I believe, though, this petition has to be withdrawn first.
No, that's
before there's-
just tap. That's just tap.
That's tap.
What I'm
Okay,
gonna do
so
is continue
we're
this-
gonna do, a no action needed.
I know, I actually think we should continue it for him. to
Right.
find
Okay.
out.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
I can offline, I could just confer with either Mr. Wakefield or Ms. Bender and see if he got approved for tap, and then we could talk about, ending this case in another way. Because he
Okay.
approved for the, I mean, oops,
I
I'm sorry.
agree.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
So-
you. Thank you
Continue this
very much.
matter.
okay, so hang
All of
on.
you, thank you, all of you.
We're gonna continue the matter to allow you the opportunity to apply for the program Mr. Wakefield has explained, and that should give you exactly the relief that you're looking for.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. ma'am.
So
Thank
can I
you.
get
God bless you.
concurrence from the
God
board
bless you all.
members?
Thank you.
Hold on,
Thank you.
concurrence
Yes,
from the
John
board
O'Connor,
members.
I concur.
Thank you.
Nancy
Ryan
Cameron, I
Boyd.
concur.
Ryan Boy, I concur.
George Mathis, I concur.
All the way, so I concur. So Mr. Khalil, you're gonna get a letter from the board that just says we continued this matter pending your application to UPA, to the program Ms. Andre is gonna provide you information for that Mr. Wakefield has explained. And that should give you the relief from the interest and penalty as well as relief from any high payments each month in order to stay current with the taxes, okay?
So I
So
still,
you can step out now and see Ms. Andre. She's gonna give you all that information.
so can you send it to my address
Yeah.
on Hedge Street? Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Or we're gonna have to wait for Melissa. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
That's
it was
what,
very
yeah.
good.
I think we were all thinking the same thing. All right, Melissa, we have,
Number one, Mr.
number
Denny
one.
Blackadder.
We're gonna move on to case number one, which is 807 North 63rd Street. Just a minute. Okay. All right, we're moving on to case number, what is listed on our docket is case number 807 North 63rd Street. Last four digits of the docket, 3980. Petitioner is in the room with Mr. Denenberg. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Good.
State
Mr.
your name for the
Wakefield, how are
record.
you today?
All right, Mr. Denenberg, state your name for the record, please. Tell us who you have with you for your client.
Good afternoon, Board. David Denenberg, Denenberg. I have to my right Craig Thorpe, the owner of 807 North 63rd Street.
All right, so Mr. Thorpe has to move a little bit closer to you so we can see him. There you go. Thank you. All right, Mr. Thorpe, good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the matter today will be the truth? Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the city representative first so that we can have put on the record the amounts and dates in controversy, and then we'll come back to you, Mr. Denenberg. So Marge?
Yes. Okay, we have years 2018 through 2024. Principal, $22,854.75. Penalty, $852.86. Interest, $3,338.38. Liens and legal fees, $2,294.03, totaling $340.02.
Thank you. Mr. Wakefield, any opening comment?
No, I'll wait to see what Mr. Denberg has to say.
All right, Mr. Dannenberg, why are you here today? What can we do for you?
So, an agreement was reached, and I'm going back a little bit further so I can give the board a little bit of the flavor of this matter. In 2014 to 2017, Mr. Thorpe had a payment agreement with the city to pay the taxes. He ultimately paid those taxes, $4,860.94. We were here on that matter, and the board entered a decision July of 2022, granting Mr. Thorpe's petition. That matter for 14 through 17 got appealed to the Common Pleas Court by the city, and then ultimately the city went away. It withdrew its appeal. I have provided the city proof of the 2018 taxes of totaling $1,965. There were 4 payments made by money orders. And I have, the big matter here is the city took away Mr. Thorpe's loop without any just cause or certified letter withdrawing the loop after the payment agreement had been made and the payment agreement was completed.
Loop for which years?
18 through 24.
Okay.
We were here.
Objection. So
Hold
first
on,
off,
this is an
All right,
open.
hold on, Mr. Dannenberg. Mr. Wakefield?
this
You're-
is an interest in penalties petition. It is not a loop petition.
Okay.
If it was a loop petition, it would be 6 years too late. And we already went over this ground last time. And what you
No.
guys found, and what we had Kristen Schultz here who testified as to all of her communications with Mr. Thorpe, that he was well aware in 2018 that we withdrew him from the loop program, the rationale, all of that. And none of that is part of this case. This is an interest in
Take a
penalties
look-
case. And we
take a
should
look
be
at the
talking about the
Take a
interest
look at the
penalties.
petition. Take a look at the petition. When this petition got filed, if you look at it, it should be in front of you.
It's not online for some reason.
I have it. It says interest and penalty, principal interest and penalty.
And underneath that, it says
Says
homestead and loop not apply. So we were here before you in
But it
July.
also says abate interest and penalties. It says abate penalty and interest, abate penalty and interest.
and apply the loop. But hold on, in July, we were here. Mr. Wakefield was here, I was here, Mr. Thorpe was here. And my client was instructed to go to the revenue department and again apply for the loop, which he did do. And ultimately, he was told that the loop is still active. It's not being applied, but it's active. And that on January 9th, like a week ago, they finally get a letter from the loop application telling him now to go to OPA, where it was always my understanding that the loop can be heard here at the board. There's a sign outside. It says you can apply here for the loop.
All right, hold on. Melissa, can you look through our file and see where we are?
I have that at the last listing, which was in July, we continued it for 90 days. Generally, I don't know why we continued it for 90 days. Oh, for petitioner to apply to the loop program. That's why we continued this case back in July. That's the
And-
last information
So-
I have. I also
Exactly.
know that this case was in fact heard back in 2018. I don't know what the board's rationale was, but I do remember what Mr. Wakefield is talking about, that Ms. Schultz testified that the board, I don't remember what the decision is, but I can find that out for the board if we just.
I have the decision here.
What is it?
The decision was to abate all of the interest and penalty And the way it's worded, it seemed like the board's decision was to abate the principal and other. That's why the city appealed. The board then filed an opinion that said, of course we didn't abate the principal and other. We don't have any jurisdiction over that.
I do.
And so based on that representation, the city then, because the board clarified its order, the city withdrew its appeal at that time. And then ultimately we had actually written off the taxes. I will further note that the property, so Mr. Thorpe obtained the homestead in 2019 going forward. It's very clear, Mr. Thorpe is an attorney. It is very clear in both the city code and regulations surrounding loop and the homestead that you cannot have the loop and the homestead. And so Mr. Thorpe made a conscious choice to pursue the homestead, and he obtained the homestead in 2019, and he has enjoyed the benefit of the homestead from 2019 through and including 2025. What does that mean for him? It means he can't have the loop program. So he's just not eligible for the loop program because he had the homestead program, a program that he applied for that is very clear on the application that you cannot have if you have the loop. Again, Mr. Thorpe is an attorney. It is in the city code that you cannot have both. This is not a mystery. It's not anything that anyone has ever hidden from anyone. You can't have both. He has the homestead, and he has received the benefit of the homestead beginning at $40,000 in 2019, going up to $45,000 of exemption in 2022, then $80,000 in 2023, and $100,000 in 2025. I would further note that for tax year 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, he would not qualify for the loop based on the percentage increase from the year before. So in 2017, his assessment was $206,600. In 2018, it was $206,600. There's not a 50% increase. Going to 2019, there's actually a decrease. So Mr. Thorpe had a decrease in his assessment from $206,000 to $183,500. So he still would not qualify for the loop as of 2019 because you have to have your taxes go up, not down. So from 2019 to 2020, there is an increase from $183,500 to $190,600. That is an increase of $7,000 or approximately 3.5%. It does not meet the 50% threshold that would be necessary to get him into the loop. Moving from 2021 to 2022, there is no change. Again, because there's not a 50% increase, he cannot qualify for the loop for tax year 2023. The first year that he could qualify for the loop for is from 2022 into 2023. So there he has an increase of over 100%. So yes, he can apply for the loop. We can even give him the loop retroactive, but first he has to remove the homestead from the property retroactive to 2023. And then he can apply for the loop, assuming that he qualifies on an income basis. And that would lock his assessment in at approximately $285,000 a year for 23 going forward on a forward basis. But first he has to get rid of the homestead. If Mr. Dennenberg would like to coordinate that with me, if that's the direction that Mr. Thorpe wants to go, if Mr. Dennenberg would like to email me that, we can have that done here probably in a matter of days.
Okay,
But
so
One thing.
got it. Mr. Dennenberg, so what is it exactly that your client is looking for?
My client is looking, and we have the real estate tax bill from 2017, which had the loop in it. The city doesn't have any cause.
So did your client, however, in 18 choose the homestead exemption?
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't have been here. This is the first time we've heard of this.
I would like to have Mr. Thorpe testify, subject to penalty of perjury, that he did
Okay.
not apply for the homestead, because I guarantee you that we have the application.
You can hold on.
Art, just a
You
minute.
can, I can ask the question, the panel can ask the question, or Mr. Wakefield can ask the question.
All right, Mr. Thorpe, we're going to ask you a few questions. Mr. Wakefield?
So Mr. Thorpe,
Yes,
you in 2018 filled out a homestead application. Isn't that correct?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall or no?
Let him finish.
Oh, hold on. One person at a time.
Mr. Wakefield, I had no need to fill out a homestead because I was already in Loop, and Loop was an automatically continuing program.
So is it your
once you
testimony
got
today?
into Loop, my understanding is once I got into Loop, that Loop renewed itself every year. So I
So
had
is
no
it your-
reason to do anything with the property other than to get the assessment and pay the taxes.
So is it your testimony today that you did not, in the spring of 2018, have an email correspondence with Kristen Schultz of the Revenue Department who explained to you that you were no longer in the Loop program, and that you and with a subsequent email from you acknowledging her email and asking what you needed to do to get into a payment plan, in accordance with Ms. Schultz's sworn testimony at the prior hearing? Are you saying that she lied on the stand?
Mr. Wakefield, let's not.
I can't say what she
You don't
said.
have the transcript.
I can only say what
I think I do have the transcript, actually.
And Mr. Wakefield, once I applied for Loop, my understanding was that it was a continuous program, that it renews automatically.
Okay, but that's not his question.
I had
I'm
no
sorry, That's
reason.
not his question. We understand that, your explanation. All right, Mr. Wakefield?
This board has already heard testimony from Kristen Schultz and didn't put him back into the loop back in 2018. What is the date of this petition?
22.
Yeah.
September
Okay, that's
22nd,
4 years
27th
after he was,
of 2022.
okay, that's 4 years after he was removed from the loop program. This board lost jurisdiction 60 days after he was removed from the loop program.
I never received any
Because-
notification from the city that.
And again, there was an email exchange. Kristen Schultz testified at the last hearing that she was personally in touch with Mr. Thorpe, that there was indeed a conversation about this. Mr. Thorpe was at all times aware that he was removed from the loop. At all times. This board has no
Continued.
jurisdiction.
All right, so we continued it in July for him to apply or reapply. Is that correct?
Right. And if he wants it for 23 going forward, he can have it. Right? He can have it, but he's got to apply. He's got to show us that he's still under the loop income. He certainly qualifies on a percentage change basis for 22 to 23. Unquestionable. So as long as his household income is less than $107,000 a year, I believe that's the cap. It's pretty high for a loop. So as long as his income's under like 100 grand, then he can have the loop. He just has to do it.
I'm in the loop and I make more than 107,000.
No,
Well-
Mr. Denenberg, that's fine.
I'm
This
just,
is not
can I
valid.
just say one
The
thing?
question is, in July, after July, what did you do? What did your client do to comply with the CRB directive?
Go ahead.
I went down to the Department of Revenue. I reapplied for the loop as instructed. They went through the revenue person went to the back, looked through the system, said that I already had loop, and there was nothing for me to do. And if it was an issue, that I had to come here, and she gave me an application to apply again. To apply for the tax review.
We did this
But-
on 8/1/2024, a week after the hearing on July 24th, and I have that application.
Right.
I absolutely believe that they tried. All right. Like it's the city. Like I 100% believe that they tried. And so that's why I'm saying if Mr. Denenberg just wants to email me, I can get it all taken care of. And he
Okay.
can have the loop for 23 going forward. We'll take the homestead off. We can put the loop on and we can go from there. So if that's what he wants, if Dave emails me, I can forward that email along to somebody who's in charge and we can 100% get that taken care of, because I do believe that he did try to comply with this board's directive.
Okay. Mr. Dennenberg, does that sound like a plan that you can go along with?
100%.
All right,
I-
then
can
I
I
am,
now-
however, what I'm gonna do then is request that this matter be continued again so that you have an opportunity to work this out with Mr. Wakefield. And assuming that that's successful, withdraw the petition at a later time, but we're gonna keep it open just to be sure that you are able to reach a resolution.
My client wants to pay a lump sum of money within 90 days of today. Is there any way the city would agree to waive the principal and interest, apply whatever it is? We paid our 18 bill. We have the receipts here for 18. And just let him pay 19, 20, and 21, and 22 without the principal and interest under the old numbers, and then we'll move forward with the loop on 23, 24, and 25.
I'm not sure what
We're
you're
not
asking.
talking about the
I-
principal here,
I-
are we?
I think he means penalty.
Yes.
You mean
Penalty.
penalty, right, Dave?
Sorry, I don't mean the principal.
Yeah.
You can't
And
do that.
so if they
I'm
want, if they want an INP waiver for 19 to 22, for 18 to 22, the city would not object to the board issuing an order to that effect and just closing out the case.
Okay.
And then I will work with Dave on getting him into the loop for 23 forward.
Does the
Is that what you want, Dave?
Yes, does the city have the money orders for 18?
There are copies attached to the petition.
Dave, if you could email me those, I can find out where they were applied. So just email that and email the loop application to me,
Got it.
and we'll get it all taken care of. All right.
All right,
Excellent.
so we're
Thank you.
agreeing, let me just get this. We're talking now about the years 2018 through 2022, correct?
Correct.
And we're agreeing that the board shall abate the interest and the penalty. And then for the years after that, the parties will discuss a loop agreement. Okay?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, can I get concurrence from the board for that decision?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Ryan
Nancy
Boyer, I
Cameron-Dinner, I
concur.
concur.
Ryan,
Nancy Cameron-Dinner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Okay, so Mr. Dennenberg, you'll get I assume correspondence is going to Mr. Dennenberg?
That is correct.
All right, so a letter with that decision will be mailed in about 2 weeks. That will close out the matter for this matter in front of the Tax Review Board. You and Mr. Wakefield will then have an opportunity to discuss going forward.
Sounds great.
23,
Thank you
all right?
all.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. That concludes
Thank
this
you,
matter
everyone.
on the board.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mr. Dennenberg.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Be excused.
Yes,
Yes.
Thank you.
and I think that concludes.
Nope,
No, there's
Yes,
one
no.
more, isn't there?
one more.
Oh, wait, which one did I miss?
Nope.
This is
Down
case number
here.
6,
John Parker.
3005 North 22nd Street.
Wait a minute. You know. Oh, sorry. Number 6, John Parker. We're gonna move on.
And it is approximately 2:59. There's nobody here in my virtual waiting room, and there's nobody here in the actual waiting room of 100 South Broad Street. So
And this case has had multiple
Multiple.
continuances. Therefore, I'm going to recommend that this be denied for failure to appear and no further hearings will be scheduled in this matter.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron-Dinner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
All Weiss, I concur. And that concludes the docket for today. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wakefield. Thank you, everyone on the board, Marge, Melissa, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay warm, everyone.
Stay warm. Oh my God. See you
Be careful out
Thursday.
there.
have a good
More
one.
day.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Take care, everyone.